Have you ever thought about what happens when you wound someone's heart? When you humiliate them? When your words break their spirit? Those tears don't just burn inside them, they leave a mark on your own soul. And that wound doesn't vanish. It circles back into your life as sorrow, as restlessness, as loss. Many people believe that if they aren't directly harmed by their actions, they've done nothing wrong. But the law of the soul is not about appearances. It is about intent. It is about what vibration you send into the unseen. And there, the judgment is flawless. Paramahansa Yogananda reminded us that God is never blind. He may remain silent, but his silence is not absence. He waits for the soul to awaken, waits for karma to complete its cycle, waits for truth to shine on its own. When a person deliberately gives pain to another, through words, through arrogance, or through indifference, they are not only harming another being, they are chiseling away at their own destiny. Every act is like a seed, and no seed is wasted. If you plant thorns, thorns will bloom. If you plant love, love will return. The strange thing is, the one who causes pain rarely looks wounded on the outside. They may laugh, they may pretend they are winning, but inside their soul starts to dry. They lose the sweetness of love, the peace of silence. They live with an invisible burden, a heaviness no one else can see, but they can never escape. Sometimes we look around and wonder, this person hurt me, yet nothing bad happens to them. Where is justice? But Yogananda said, divine justice is quiet, but exact. It strikes when pride grows too tall, when the ego believes itself untouchable, and then life answers in a language that cannot be ignored. There is a restlessness that never leaves the one who hurts others. It clings to them like a shadow. Over time, that restlessness ripens into illness, into failure, into an invisible weight they cannot escape. Look closely. Such people may smile, they may look powerful, they may even appear successful, yet peace never sits on their face. Why? Because somewhere, at some point, they crushed love within themselves, and when love is silenced, the soul becomes separated from God. From that moment, sorrow, emptiness, and darkness quietly grow in their life. Have you noticed? Some people seem to have everything, money, reputation, influence, but their eyes never rest. Their hearts are restless. This is because the cries of a broken soul never vanish into thin air. Every tear, every silent wound carries weight in the unseen. Paramahansa Yogananda taught that when a person keeps hurting others without remorse, the universe itself becomes their teacher. Life places them in situations where they are forced to taste the pain they once caused. Circumstances rise like mirrors, showing them the suffering they gave to others. And Yogananda was clear. When someone wrongs you, do not waste yourself in anger. Feel compassion instead. For that person is unknowingly digging the ground beneath their own feet. To harm another soul is to set fire to one's own house. But compassion is not weakness. Forgiveness is not silent suffering. Yogananda reminded us, to endure injustice and to practice true tolerance are not the same. Real love does not mean allowing yourself to be wounded again and again. Love also means protecting yourself, and in some way, protecting the other from his own blindness. If someone in your life is a source of pain, your first duty is to guard your own soul. Stay centered through meditation, prayer, and self-control. Do not descend to anger, because then you sink into the same level of darkness. But if you stay steady in peace and love, you offer not only yourself freedom, you offer that soul a chance to awaken. Forgiveness does not mean you are superior. It simply means you refuse to carry the poison any longer. And that release, that compassion, becomes a shield of invisible strength. Remember this: the one who inflicts pain ties a knot in their karma. That knot will not loosen without suffering. The law of life is simple. What you sow, you will reap. It may take this lifetime or another, but no seed escapes its harvest. Often we think, the one who hurt me is enjoying life while I suffer. But Yogananda said, real suffering is the kind that is hidden, and many who appear strong on the outside are already broken within. Life is the great school of the soul. Some are beginners, some are halfway, some are nearing the end. Those who keep causing pain are still in the early lessons, and life will teach them, not from books, but from experience. Only when they themselves taste sorrow will compassion awaken in them. And when compassion awakens, the presence of God becomes visible in their heart. When a person causes pain to another, he does not only wound the other, he wounds the light within himself. For the soul is by nature love, compassion, and peace. And when we act against these qualities, the soul begins to weep silently within. Often we wonder, he hurt so many people, yet everything in life seems to favor him. Why? Yogananda explained that life is not confined to a single birth. It is a vast journey stretched across many lifetimes. A person may appear untouched in this life, but every act leaves its trace in the universe. The law records everything, and though the outer rewards may look intact, his inner being is already caught in a web of sorrow. Have you seen how suddenly life changes? A person who once seemed unshakable falls into illness, humiliation, or unexpected loss. To us it looks mysterious, but Yogananda called it the compassionate order of the universe. Not revenge, but teaching. The universe reflects pain back to the giver, so the soul may awaken, pause, and turn again toward love. For even the one who inflicts suffering is but a lost soul, disconnected from truth, from light, from God. And so life hands him his own medicine, until he remembers what he has forgotten, that love is his true home. Yogananda warned that when we cause suffering, we close the door of the heart. And once the heart closes, even God's grace cannot flow in. That is why such people, though rich in wealth or status, remain hollow and restless within. They search for peace, yet it escapes them. For real peace only enters a heart that feels the pain of others as its own. He once told a disciple, if you want peace, stop causing pain. If you want to behold God, learn to understand the suffering of others and try to lessen it. That is the very essence of life, not to live only for ourselves, but to live sensitively for the well-being of other souls. Sometimes the one who inflicts pain becomes so blinded by pride that he cannot even see his own mistakes. But within, the soul weeps. And when the soul weeps, a fire of repentance begins to burn. Then the same person who once tormented others begins to crumble from within. His inner strength fades, and he becomes like a helpless child before life. Yet here, too, mercy waits. If such a soul turns inward through meditation, through honest self-reflection, through repentance, the universe offers another chance. For God is never a punisher. He is a reformer through love. No matter how far one has strayed, grace leaves the door open. But many never recognize this chance. They remain bound by ego, circling endlessly through the same sorrows, believing they have won by hurting others. In truth, they have only defeated their own compassion. And that defeat is the greatest downfall of all. Yogananda's teaching is piercingly clear. No matter how much you try to hide, your soul keeps the account. And in the stillness of the night, when you are alone, the soul will hold up a mirror. That mirror is terrifying, for it shows the darkness we cannot hide from ourselves. That is why Yogananda said, "Life's true purpose is not to hoard or to conquer, but to give love, to give compassion, to give peace. To turn away from this purpose is to build a prison for oneself. From the outside, the prison may look like success, but inside, every breath becomes heavy, every moment suffocating. Do not curse those who hurt you. Instead, pray for them, for they are burning in the fire of ignorance, unaware of their own suffering. Their soul is still asleep, yet your compassion, your kindness may awaken it." Yogananda often said, "The most powerful energy in the universe is compassion. It has the power to transform darkness into light. When someone causes pain, it is usually because they themselves are wrestling with hidden pain. Perhaps they never knew real love. Perhaps their heart was once broken and never healed, and so they pass on their own suffering to others. If we are truly spiritual, then our response must be different. Not to accept or justify their wrong actions, but to refuse to let hatred take root in our own heart. For hatred only multiplies darkness. If we react with anger and vengeance, we too become part of the same shadow. Yogananda explained that whenever someone continually inflicts suffering, their energy field, their very presence, begins to darken. Their aura becomes heavy, their laughter sounds hollow, and people unconsciously begin to avoid them. Why? Because the divine radiance of the soul has been clouded by bitterness and negativity. Yet God's grace is infinite. Every soul, no matter how fallen, is given the chance to be purified again. If a person truly repents and turns to God with a humble prayer, "Lord, I have caused others pain. Forgive me," then the entire universe begins to aid his cleansing. Slowly, that soul is guided back onto the path of transformation. This is why, if we ever hurt someone, whether knowingly or unknowingly, we must not delay in turning inward. We must confess within, release the burden, and purify our heart. The longer we carry the weight, the more it silently drains us. That is why some people feel perpetually tired, restless, or depressed without knowing why. It is the hidden burden of the soul. A man may climb high in worldly success, but if his soul is empty of compassion, he can never feel whole. This was Yogananda's message, lived and spoken, that true joy, true fulfillment, and the true vision of God come only to the heart that feels the suffering of others as its own. When we hurt another, we hurt ourselves. When we pull someone down, we fall from our own inner height. When we cause another to weep, we shatter our own peace. Let us therefore take a vow here and now not to hurt anyone, not with words, not with actions, not even with hidden thoughts. Let us choose to speak the language of love, to look with the eyes of compassion, and to turn this life into a song of harmony where every soul is respected and uplifted. This is the true teaching of Yogananda. This is the call of the soul. This is life's final truth. And dear souls, if these words have touched you, know that this was not mere information. It was a quiet revolution stirring in your spirit. Perhaps you too have caused hurt, or perhaps others have deeply wounded you. But today is a bridge where the heart can choose a new way to live with love, to live with forgiveness, to live with compassion. That alone is the true religion. If, while listening, you feel forgiveness, compassion, or repentance rising within, do not suppress it. Express it. Live it. For even a single vow can change your destiny. If Yogananda's message has stirred your heart, write in the comments, "I will no longer cause pain." That vow, written with sincerity, may inspire another soul to awaken. And if this video has brought you peace, share it with your loved ones. Let them also know to hurt another is not just an act, it is to dim the very light of the soul. Always remember, God does not dwell where hatred is. He lives where love, forgiveness, and compassion shine.